Now, what comes next for me? I am going to take this time right now to announce that I am going to be taking a break from YouTube. I need to get my ducks in a row. I need to figure out what I'm doing.
So if you're interested in learning from Lindy Glenn and other creators who made a lot of money on social media as a YouTuber, an influencer, a podcaster, and decided to reinvest in their business and lost a lot of money, had a lot of mental anguish, stay tuned. Hi, my name is JJ Gatso. On this account, I help fellow content creators decode the laws related to the creator economy. This video is more about not just the laws, but really about money mistakes that creators make. I'm going to also share you clips from the actual creators saying themselves what lessons, the mistakes they made. And so you as a content creator, so you don't want to repeat their mistakes. So you want to stay tuned this video, take notes, make mental notes. So when you're getting that position, you're not repeating their mistakes. All right, ready? Let's go. Okay, so the first one is Lindy Glenn. So what she does is she had a business where she did actually take in physical products. She purchased overstocks from Amazon and other places, stored them in her home, and resold them locally on Facebook Marketplace. So the mistake that she made, the money make mistake she made, instead of just taking the profits and deciding wisely how to do it, she decided to take something with a low overhead, which is like an online business where after you buy the basic equipment, your podcast equipment, your camera or whatever, and maybe hire a couple of a VA and maybe an editor or so, low overhead, you're just making the money. You're from the AdSense, from your sponsorships, from your memberships, whatever it is, money is just coming in and this very low overhead. And she went and traded in a low overhead business for a high overhead business by actually getting one of those Black Friday sort of stores where you just buy a bunch of products and have a physical location where people can come in, pick from bins, pay you a certain money, and that's it. But now she has a store, now she has a lease, now she has lighting bill, now she has utilities, now she has staff. And it was just too much to handle, and she ended up closing down. Similarly, I've seen other creators that invest, they sell something digitally, like a nice digital journal, for example, or a course that they do that they is virtual, and they go from that and then actually say, well, let me just go ahead and do a physical, because product-based businesses do well. Commodities actually are, it's great to get, easier to get loans on something that's commodities based when you have actual physical access versus just an online business. But what these people would do is go from a journal and get like a physical journal where they have to like make and print something, and then now you're dealing with inventory, now they're dealing with stock, now you're dealing with the VAT stats and a whole bunch of other stats and a bunch of other things that they didn't have before when they were just selling a digital version of it. So I'm not saying don't do it, and people have been successful doing it. It's just that when you do it, really be mindful of what you're trading in, the overhead costs, whether or not you have money to float you, and also you should be getting a loan to manage those costs, so you're not just using your YouTube earnings from it. So actually do the research, get the business plan done, and get like some secondary funding for it, so it's not coming out your money. So that's what I would do differently. So that's the second thing that people do often, is that they hire a lot. So I'm going to let you listen to two creators who made that mistake. Vanessa Lau, she was gone for a while because she was burnt out, but when she came back, she did a really great video. Part of the video is saying why she left is that she just grew too big. But that there's another creator who did a wonderful wrap up, essentially saying that a lot of the YouTubers that are quitting was because they made a mistake that he made and Vanessa Lau made, just scale too big. Listen to those two, and then on the other side, I'm going to talk about how do you avoid the what they went through. How do you avoid that, and so you don't repeat them?
Is that I got caught up in this second trap, and that is the scale trap. Now, some of you guys might not know what the scale trap means, and I don't blame you because it's a term that I made up. It reminds me of lifestyle creep. You know, lifestyle creep, when you start making money, so you start spending more to maintain a certain image. Maybe you upgrade your car, you upgrade your house, or you upgrade your clothes, and then all of a sudden you have so many lifestyle expenses that you have to keep up. And so you have to keep working really hard in order to even maintain your life or the image that you're trying to portray. And so the scale trap, or maybe we could call it the scale creep, is the same thing but applied to business. Because for me, what I didn't realize was that adding more team members meant adding more expenses. It meant feeling more pressure and more responsibility to keep this machine running. So no longer was I only creating videos because I felt like it, because I thought it was fun. It was now a necessity to show up every single day. And yes, that's great accountability, but sometimes with that pressure, it could be really stressful. I fell into the scale trap. And again, this all comes back from me not knowing what was enough for me. And because I didn't know what was enough, like I said, I just kept pushing for more. To the point where I broke. I couldn't handle this scale.
I need to hire my first person, then hire my second one, and then build this bigger team, and then start a business on the side. And then the next thing you know, you're building, and you're not even doing what you love anymore. You're like working yourself out of the thing that you're good at, the thing that you enjoy doing. And that's how I feel like a lot of creators get burned out. It's because you get all this pressure of success that, like, if you build and now you have people who, like, their income, their livelihoods depend on you, that's a lot of pressure. That means even if you have enough money, you can't really stop because people lose their jobs. It's like this machine that you built, and then it's hard to get off because the name on the machine is you, it's your face.
Yeah, so the way you do that is that you smart growth. So what I'm doing is a strategy called where I'm looking at the first mile, second mile, and last mile. First mile is when the process of creating content, of creating a course, creating a podcast, all of those production-wise stuff. That's the first mile. The second mile is once you've done that, you have to market and promote it, get it out, buy ads, do organic marketing and promotion, maybe get some staff to help you with that. And the last mile is those last things to make you close the deal so you're making money off of it. The last mile could be making sure you have the right call to action, making sure you do A/B testing and see what closes. If you're doing a course, hire a copy editor perhaps to make sure that you have the right copy, getting a system like Samcart that lets you upsell and downsell and you deal with abandoned carts. So you're closing the deal, that last mile. So when you assess the first mile, second mile, last mile needs, you hire staff based on where you have gaps, where you aren't able to do it physically. And then once you grow and can see the return on investment for that initial investment, then you do the proper assessment and say, okay, I can afford this much staff, I can have to go to this next level, and also pause at each stage to assess to see whether it's something that's doable, whether it's something that's great, whether you're still having fun, and to avoid all of the things you heard in those last two clips. All right, so that's just my assessment. So let's talk about that below. The third and final way that creators who grow big on YouTube and other platforms lose their money because they just don't properly do the research because they're not great business people is they will take a virtual product. So for example, you might have a virtual conference or a virtual summit where you may have fellow coaches that agree to do a session for you in exchange for access to the people who are going to register for it. They may be affiliate marketers, whether it's a free course or a summit that's free or summit that costs money. You know that they may help you get more people in the summit. You guys are exchange emails. At some point, you'll make the money out at the end. So everything's going well. It's relatively low cost. It's virtual. It's a virtual summit. It's a win-win for everyone. And they will go and do an actual in-life summit, which has a lot of overhead costs. You have a conferencing. You might have to have an event planner. You now have to get maybe drinks and food and catering. And now you're talking about marketing. And now you're talking about maybe booking rooms. Now you're talking about the swag bags. So a lot of costs. It's kind of akin to the first one when people swap off into a virtual business, it's online-based business, or a real life business is similar, but I've seen this before when, you do like a mastermind live, and I've seen people in videos of folks going to those and they look amazing. And I know people with actual conferences, they sell out, they'll do really, really well. So you're chasing those things and those people that have those upper hearts, but you may not be ready yet. So before you do and switch your virtual success to an online success, I think what you should do instead is make sure that you get sponsors. So a lot of times the people who would sponsor your videos, just your video content, they're sponsoring because they know you guys have synergies and they're symbiotic in terms of your market is their market. So if your market is their market virtually, they may be willing to actually pay to sponsor your in-live version of it, even though it's a localized version of it. So you would hire the person to go secure the sponsors, for example. And if you're going to pay them to just secure the sponsors, not for a commission, because I've been asked to do that. I would never do that. I've done that once. I'll never do that again because it's too hard and it's a lot of work and it's not guaranteed unless you already have the connections, already have the relationships there where people are willing to, like, you already know them. Don't ever do that. So that's the third and final way, is switching out virtual events that are low cost for real life events. And I think finally, it's like just market analysis. Like the people who come to your channel, who watch you, may love your pranks, may love your family, may love your relationship advice, may love your exercise advice, your food advice, your business advice that you give on your channel, but they're not necessarily the same people that are going to go to your events. They're not necessarily the same people that's going to buy your actual paper journal. They're not necessarily the same people that will necessarily come to your store, especially if it's a local store. So there's a mismatch. Don't confuse the success you've had, the audience you've built on social media, and assume that that's the same success you're going to have when you convert that into a real life thing. So yeah, so those are my pieces of advice to do. But I played a couple examples. I give you a couple examples of where this has happened before, and burnout is real, and you don't want to make those mistakes. So I hope that's helpful. Let's talk below. What do you think about that? Are you scaling smart? Does this apply to you? Did you actually blow up, have a big business, and realize, oh, this is just too much? Let's discuss more. And if you're interested in content like this, I want to invite you to subscribe. I'm the attorney for content creators. I'm helping you guys decode the laws related to content creation and the creator economy here. So subscribe and watch this video next that YouTube think will be amazing for you.